And here we are, another day, another live Q&A. Welcome everybody. Happy Saturday to all of you. And thank you so much for joining us here today. So you're watching LUKSUZ CHEAP FILMS FESTIVal, the 18th edition and the first one ever online. We started our festival last week and we're somewhere in the middle, so we have 1 week to go. A lot more things are coming, and also if you missed anything or everything, don't worry, all the live Q&As were recorded, so you can find them online or on our Facebook channel, on our YouTube channel. And also all the films that we screened until today are also available until the end of the festival, so don't you worry. But just a little recap of what we offer here at LUKSUZ Festival. So we prepared, like, a program includes more than 40 low-budget short films for you, all from young and emerging filmmakers from different directions, from documentary, animation, fiction, like you name it, we have it. And all of the movies were actually made in a non-commercial and or non-institutional context. So the best context possible. And the movies that were screened this week and also the live chats that we've had already, and including this one today, are all part of the Slovenian Film Week 2020. Okay, so speaking of young and emerging filmmakers, actually today's program is a continuation of last week's youth program that we started last week and we're continuing today. And because our youth is so, creative, ambitious, and full of ideas, we're actually hosting 2 live Q&As today, and you're watching the first one. And the title of this section of movies is called Family Matters, because all the movies that were just screened on YouTube and half an hour ago, and also will be available, like I said before, until the end of the festival, so you can rewatch it later. So all these movies are kind of touching the subject of family ties, and they're showing the whole emotional palette of family relationships. So something that we can definitely all relate to. And here today, we also have authors of some of those movies. We have Lovro, an author of Lovro and Vid, both co-authors from Biological Waste. And we have Boris and Tamara. They are authors of Puding. Also the movie, this is the name of the movie. Yeah, okay, and also just before I will let them speak, I could introduce myself as well. My name is Špela. I'm one of the volunteers here at LUKSUZ Production, and I'm not alone here. We also have Zarina. She's also a volunteer here, and she'll be leading this Q&A portion of this discussion. Okay, so just before I give my mic to Zarina, viewers and like anyone who's watching, if you have any comments, write us on Facebook, questions. We'll try and we'll do our best to answer them. And also you, dear guests, you're welcome to interact with each other as well, so this discussion can be as live as it's possible. Okay, Zarina, I think I said it all.
Thank you, Špela. I'm also working at LUKSUZ Production. My name is Zarina Orčević. I'm from Bosnia and Herzegovina. And thanks to young authors for joining tonight's Q&A from their category. So I would like to start maybe. So I would like to actually start with Boris. Boris, hello. Do you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, hello. So Boris, can you maybe introduce yourself? And my first question is actually, because you're the oldest here, like from the filmmakers and everything, how you actually start the filmmaking, and what is the most interesting thing that integrates you when you start filmmaking?
Okay, I'm Boris Simić from Belgrade. I currently study film and television directing actually at the University of Arts. And how I started? Well, I started really young. When I was a kid, I liked to watch the movies and try to make movies. First time we were like 8 years old and we were trying to make Pirates of the Caribbean, because it was the first film I saw in the cinema, and we like dressed up like pirates, went to the forest, and like there was this big hill, and we made a film there. It was like a really pleasant childhood memory. And after that, I don't know, somewhere in high school I started watching again, and I started making films, and I always wanted to, I found out that actually that was something I always wanted to do and that I enjoy doing to this day.
Thank you so much, Boris. Now I would like to jump into the FKVKZ. So FKVKZ is actually like film club from Croatia, from Zagreb. No, Zaprešić, excuse me. So from tonight we have Lovro and Vid. My question for them is the same question that was for Boris. So how did they start it? I'm going to translate it as also. So Vid, Lovro, dobro večer, momci, mene zaista zanima, pošto nema toliko uopće klubova, ja nisam znala da postoji filmski klub uopće, stoga mene zanima kako ste vi uopće došli do filmskog kluba Zaprešić i kako ste vi to sve započeli. Meni je to baš interesantno. Možete li započeti?
Čega, zašto mi pričao na hrvatskom?
Pa zato što ne znamo koliko vam je dobro znanje engleskog, pa smo odmah krenuli sa prevođenjem.
Dobro, može.
Mislim, da li ste vi osjećate ugodno da pričate na engleskom? Da li imate možda dovoljno znanja, ali da li želite na engleskom?
Da, mislimo, ne znam, svejedno mi je.
Ok, možemo nastaviti. Znači, da se vratimo na pitanje, mene zanima kako ste vi zapravo započeli sa filmom i šta vas to najviše privuklo u filmu? Možda Lovro ili vi da započnu, ne znam, svejedno mi je koji želi više.
Ovako, znači, Zaprešić je ovak dosta malo mjesto i više manje puno ljudi zna za taj klub i tak došla i do nas riječ o tom klubu i mi smo tamo već duže godina, radimo puno filmova svake godine, odnosno svake godine obično se potrudimo jedan film napraviti i ne znam, isto tako smo gledali dosta filmova prije pa nas je to zanimalo. Zanima nas tak tehnički dio oko snimanja, možda čak i više. I jednostavno nas je privuklo to što se radi u klubu, svidjeli su nam se filmovi tamo i eto.
Thank you, Lovro. So now Lovro said that Zaprešić actually is a small place in Croatia and that they make like every year they make at least one film. They're trying really hard to make it at least like more films every year. They're more interesting in this like technical part of filming, but as also like the Boris said, they started watching films and they find out that they really like the film and everything as a art. So that was how they also started. Now, thank you also Lovro and Vid. Now I would like to ask Tamara, because Tamara is actually the only actress here from this group of filmmakers. So Tamara, can you hear me? Can you please unmute yourself?
I didn't unmute myself.
It's okay, sorry. It's okay. We are going on. So Tamara, how was the process? How did you, when you first time saw scenario, how was for you? What did you like the most? If there was some dilemmas like being actress and everything, please start.
Actually, I'm not a professional actress. I met Boris because we are going to the same faculty. I'm tried actually to be an actress, and he's trying at the other. And he called me after 1 year. Actually, we met for the first time, and he told me I have one part for you, and it's actually was a very sorry, sad si ja prebacila na engleski, sa engleskog na srpski, izvini. Actually, it was a very difficult part because I'm in the wheelchair, and actually I wasn't in that part in my life. So we were practicing to be like that. I was living that life with him. And he gave me opportunity to feel like a professional, because for that 3 or 5 days of filming, I was in the wheelchair for the whole day, and I was that girl, because that was his idea. So I want to thank him now in this live, actually.
That is really nice story. really, really interesting how actually you're growing together, like growing up together, because your actress, he's like film director, and you're really trying to incorporate this like two arts in one and helping each other with, for example, this was for you like one of the like most complicated roles, let's say.
Most complicated. It was my first time that I'm in front of the cameras for the first time. Yeah, so it was very interesting, and so I'm here for the support actually, because it was my only one movie that I made it in my whole life. So.
But congratulations, really, like I really like Puding. Like I saw it when the first time came out, and I was really like, wow, Boris made this. Like I was impressed for real. And
Yes.
Congratulations to you, because I never saw you before. So congratulations for this great role, for definitely. So I would like to jump again on the Boris. Boris, can you turn on your mic?
It's on.
Great.
It's on.
So Boris, you're now on Faculty of Dramatic Arts. So do you see any difference like now after faculty and before faculty? Like, is there like some progress?
Well, definitely there is, but just I can see it. It's not like I feel it, but I don't. I didn't have the means to actually see it in a film, for example, because when I made Puding, I had a lot of time, and that was really interesting process, because we really had the time to become the people that should the characters from the film. Now we have less time, and everything is like in a hurry, and I don't know. I liked working on Puding because it was really full of opportunities because of that time. We had the time to practice very much and to talk about those characters, to develop them from the script, because it's much more different film than it would have been if we didn't work on it like we did. But we could, because we had time. And Tamara and Luka, both of my actors, they didn't act in front of the camera before. They were theater actors. I was in the same theater group as Luka, and Tamara I met a year earlier, and it was we really had to work on those differences between the film and the theater to try to give them more authentic performances. And I think there are differences, because now we have to work on much higher level of production than it was Puding, and it carries with itself a lot of stress and a lot of more errands to do. But with Puding, it was like really, it also had much errands to do. I had to clear the forest and make the room, and much more things that you can never see. But I don't know, it just there was time, and I think the time is most important when making
I think
film.
we weren't under pressure that time.
Yeah, and plus this is not really relevant this 1 year at the faculty because of this coronavirus and everything. We really have to try to adapt to it, and it's really hard because we can't get some actors, we can't get some locations, we have to make like lesser scripts because of it, because of this epidemic. We are still making films, but it's much more stressful than when there is no virus. And really, I'm not sure how it's going to be in the future, but with this epidemic, it really started making things much more harder, and they're hard on its own without the virus. So I don't know. I just need some time, I think.
Since you mentioned the corona and everything, like this whole mess do you maybe have some perspectives on film industry in Serbia or general on Balkans, like world, whatever? So what do you think now, how it's film industry coping with this coronavirus? Because I think the the baddest thing that's because of the corona is happening to the artistic jobs and everything. So what is your opinion about it?
Well, as far as I know, the productions are working normally. They're like wearing masks and using those security measures, but everything is working fine. And I don't think it's problematic because of the actors, especially older actors, because sometimes many of them fear to participate, even if they're paid, even on those high-end productions where they get everything. Some of them still fear the virus, and it can cause a lot of problems. But I think we're kind of coping with it, and there was those TV shows are still shooting. They shoot all the time. But the problem is for us, when our students and those who are working with low to no budget, because we can't get actors we could normally get because of this whole thing, and also it's problematic because of locations for shooting and everything, because we can't go somewhere where we can infect other people, especially older people, and some of my colleagues from the faculty are positive for virus, and it's really a mess right now. We have those, we need to shoot our movies for in 3 to 4 weeks. I should shoot in 4 weeks my next film, but everything is really strange with this. Some of my colleagues need to start even earlier, in 2 weeks, and we have to be prepared for everything.
Thank you so much, Boris, for sharing this story. I think it's really eye-opening to some things, but maybe Tamara can also answer the same question just from the theater actors perspective. How now even in theaters much even worse. So can you maybe share your experience now since Corona and everything? Tamara, please just unmute.
Sorry, I did it again. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. And now I'm positive to coronavirus, so I'm not playing at the time. But I was playing a month ago, one play, and it was so strange because you were playing in front of 50 people. Theater is actually very. You don't have the whole. You're dealing with it because you're playing to the 50 people because they came, and you appreciate that. But I don't know how it's gonna be. We have 2 plays in December, and we don't know now are we going to do it or not. But I know we're staying positive. I'm staying positive. I don't know. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this. My thoughts in the last time are on the faculty. I'm actually a teacher at the teachers faculty, and I'm doing that beside faculty. So I don't know. I can't say anything because I'm looking in. I'm not in the process of making all that, so I don't know.
Thank you also so much for sharing. Now I think it will be fair if we get back to the Lovro and Vid. Lovro and Vid, my question for them is, how did they get the idea for the biological waste? What is actually the whole story behind it? And what for me, the question is also what happened to the carpet, because carpet just mystery went on the trash. So Lovro, Vid, da li ste me razumjeli, momci?
Jesmo.
Molim vas, dajem vam riječ.
Pa Pa sve je počelo ko svaki film na stolcu i razmišljanju. I onda smo razmišljali i onda je došao film. I onda, a tepih je u smeću, u onom smeću.
Zaista je završio na smeću, bacili ste ga.
Bacili smo.
Genijalno.
To je stari tepih.
So for translation now, so as we said, like every idea starts with a chair actually sitting down and talking about the idea and everything. So they think, and they got idea and they got scenario and everything. So they put like idea into reality, which sometimes is actually hard to do it, to put so many ideas and your thoughts into reality, especially with the filmmaking. And my question also was what happened with the carpet, and the carpet is actually now in the trash because it was really old. And now the second question is, what is the favorite part for the young filmmakers from that perspective of projecting? Like, is it a scenario? Isn't it like shooting the film and everything, or the editing?
I think our favorite, na hrvatskom.
Možeš na engleskom, svejedno.
Our favorite part is probably shooting. We really like shooting the movies. Worst part is writing and getting the idea for the film. And editing is also, we like editing and shooting. That's it. We don't like acting at all. We hate acting.
Basically, production is the best.
Yeah, technical part.
Oh, but okay, but both of you were actually in front of the camera. How was that? Like, we have like here now Tamara, who is on the academy and everything, and you're still like in this like preschool and everything. So what was the like the biggest obstacle for you?
The acting. We just didn't have any actors, so we had to do it.
Yeah. That's it.
Do you maybe guys have some future plans since you're still in FKVKZ? Do you have maybe some future plans for the projects, films, or something similar?
We are currently working on documentary film about 5G technology, and yes, I think, yeah, it will be interesting.
Okay, now maybe you can also maybe also you can tell what is the biggest obstacle for young people to start like film journey, the filmmaking, the loving for the film moment. So what is the biggest obstacle for young people?
The biggest, probably acting.
Besides the acting, Lovro, sorry, besides the acting, maybe is there some other problems? Možete sad i na hrvatskom, radošću prevesti.
Maybe
Ne znam ni na hrvatskom.
maybe they want to do, maybe they have an idea, but they don't have maybe a camera or maybe some technical stuff. So maybe they can't film, but I don't know. Maybe that's the biggest difficulty. They can have technical things.
We will find out in the future somehow, but it's nice that you two at least are doing the film and loving the film as they are. But maybe I can ask the same question for Boris.
Ja mogu ja da pređem na naš pa ti prevodi, baš mi je zarađao engleski.
Možeš.
Možda ćeš bolje, vjerojatno ćeš ti bolje prevesti nego što ću ja reći. Pa ja mislim da je najveći problem otpor, u smislu kao i unutrašnjeg otpora, kao u ljudima ta neka lenjost i nije to lenjost, to je nešto odlaganje i kao nebavljanje time konstantno, a sem toga još veći problem je taj spoljašnji otpor, jer kao kad kreneš nešto da radiš, stalno dolaziš na razne prepreke. I kao, pošto kod filma je to baš zeznuto, jer postoji mnogo aspekata, mnogo. I onda, u kom god ti sektoru da naiđeš na neki problem, to je problem za ceo film, jer ga nema. I onda teško je pronaći sve te lokacije i glumce i ceo taj proces je dosta, često treba praviti razne kompromise tu da bi uopšte došlo do filma i kao to je dosta dugačak i bolan proces sve to. I mislim da je to najveći problem. A i takođe taj neki unutrašnji otpor koji kao svi mi imamo kada nešto treba da uradimo, pa onda često odustanemo pre nego što završimo. I to je isto problem, mislim da ne treba stati sa tim, nego samo izgurati ga do kraja.
That's all?
Šta je još bilo pitanje?
To je sve za sad što si rekao, kasnije ću postaviti pitanje.
Važi.
Okay, so for translation, Boris said that the biggest problem, as he see, is like probably our inner and outside like residents, because sometimes you will face the problem with the producing, with the location, with many different aspects of film, and for some young filmmakers that can be seen as a big problem and can have this like huge impact on a film, like after in editing and everything. So, and also he said that maybe the biggest problem is our laziness, and that our inner aspect of not aspect, but our inner like residence of like pushing the film into reality. Okay, now the second question can also be for Tamara. Tamara, can you hear me? Oops.
Da, yes.
Okay. Do you want on Serbian or?
Yes, please. Ista stvar, zarađali smo se engleski.
Malo ćete i mene sputavati, ali nema veze, nekako ćemo prevesti. Tamara, just to put the question. So your teacher, how this what is happening now in school? Do you prefer this type of online or the real life like teaching? What is happening since you're a teacher? So can you tell us a little bit more?
Pa iskreno, ja mislim da, barem evo sad gledam iz našoj državi, u Srbiji to apsolutno ne funkcioniše i vidim da sada izbjegavaju tu online nastavu jer apsolutno ne mogu totalno da dopru do učenika, da obuhvate su njihovu pažnju. Nije isto kao film i pozorište. Ja se osjećam kao na sceni ispred tih svih učenika, ali ne možete vi njih pridobiti njihovu pažnju i sve na online nastavi koja nije dovoljno dobro osmišljena. Tako da to sve ide baš loše u tom smeru. Po mom mišljenju, a i po mišljenju ljudi koji su samo na fakultetu, koji su isto i struci.
Tvoji kolega na kraju krajeva.
Da.
So Tamara said actually that online schooling is not functioning and that the biggest problem is actually for kids because they can't catch the concentration because it's an online and it's even hard in a real life to catch kids' concentration. But now it's even worse because we are on camera constantly and we are like facing the FaceTiming every time, and it's kind of really annoying to be like just in this like camera and online edition. So now maybe we can ask the actually students of now this Corona times, what kind of impact Corona have on your learning and everything?
We definitely don't learn as much, but we have more time, and with more time you can do more things, and with more things you can have more fun. And I'm looping. I'm Lovro.
Yes, definitely. We have much more time. We can do things we like doing, like for example, films. So yeah, it's not that bad, if you ask me.
but do you maybe miss this old times of going to school, having like the real communication with friends and also going out?
We are going to school.
Oh, okay.
We have school.
There is no lockdown here.
Good for Croatia. Maybe we can now go back to Boris. Boris, da li ti imaš, Boris, do you have maybe some future projects? I didn't ask you. Boris, samo ću te zamoliti da uključiš mikrofon.
Sorry. Da, pa evo sad upravo sam u pripremi kao sljedećeg filma. Sad borim se sa tim preprekama i tako dalje. Tražim već šta je potrebno i mislim, pripremam polako.
So he's actually now working on a project that he mentioned earlier. He's trying really to get all the solve for these problems and everything. But maybe just let me to see some questions as also. So
if I can maybe jump in, because I have a
question. Of course, Bella.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I have a question for Tamara and Boris actually, but maybe starting with Tamara, because you mentioned before that you spend a day in a wheelchair as well, before shooting. So I was wondering how this kind of affected. What did like playing this role teach you about like people with disabilities?
Jel mogu na srpskom?
Yeah, and then Zarina will translate because she's more fluent.
Thank you, Zarina. Hvala. Dok sam bila, pošto snimanje trajalo oko 3 dana, provodila sam oko 3 do 6 sati u kolicima i shvatila koliko ne možeš ništa da uradiš u stvari i koliko si ti ograničen. U mom slučaju ja sam se osjećala kao glavna glumica koju svi dodaju i svi donose, jer ja sam ipak imala ekipu oko sebe koja će da mi pomogne, ali sam shvatila koje je ograničenje i koliko je u stvari strašno, pa samim tim je to i pomoglo da izgradim lik koji je sam kod kuće, sam sa sobom, bez mogućnosti kretanja, socijalizacije i koliko psihički u stvari je to najteža stvar. Ajde, kao fizički kretanje možda i ne mora da bude toliko bitna stvar, ali psihički to što ti ne možeš normalno da funkcionišeš u životu, kao socijalno, eto što je glavni problem, da kažem, ovog lika i šta je uništilo ovaj lik, mislim da je to u stvari, sam skapirala koliko je to najveći problem.
To je to, Tamara?
Da.
krenem. Hvala ti. So Tamara said actually that they were shooting for 3 days and that she was from 3 to 6 hours in the wheelchairs. And for her, the biggest, like the changing thing that she actually saw, like being in the wheelchairs, is actually that you can't do anything because you're in a wheelchair, and for you is everything kind of with the limits. Everyone has to help you. Of course, she felt like this actress because everyone were helping her with the water or whatever she needed. She has to ask it. And also she like see that people in a wheelchair or any kind of invalidity, they have like this limits with doing anything in life, but there is like this more impact on on the mentality, not mentality, but on mental health, sorry, excuse me. So, and also that it's kind of ruining their social life, which was the best represented in the Puding, that the sister couldn't go out, she couldn't approach to the boy, and how actually was impacted by that wheelchairs. So also I now have the questions, Tamara, do you have maybe some kind of solution for how we can actually make up this social life for people in a wheelchair or any kind of invalidity. So how we can help them? Maybe did you find some maybe solutions for that kind of type?
Pa ja mislim da jedini način da se to reši jeste da se omogući, sad generalno u filmu je prikazan najstrašniji oblik toga, gde su dvoje ljudi, brat i sestra koji su ostali bez ičega. On mora da radi, a ona se trudi da doprinese time tako što će da ona na neki način zaradi novac, međutim jako je teško zaposliti se. A možda ako bi u procesu obrazovanja pronašli određene struke gde oni mogu da učestvuju podjednako kao i svi ostali, mislim da bi u samom tom, da kažem, prvo što su, osjećaju se korisno. Imam utisak da kao ovaj lik se ne osjeća korisno zato što ni na koji način ne doprinosi normalnom životu u kom funkcioniše tokom dana.
Okay, thank you, Tamara. So she said that maybe it will be better if we actually give those people like in a process of education to involve them even more. Like, for example, if we involve them in some normal like schooling or whatever to have like normal social life, that they will feel like they wouldn't feel useless. Definitely they will feel like they're part of normal. We don't have today's normal things, but they will feel like more like they're part of the society that's just more functional. I agree 100% on Tamara with that, but I have a question for Boris, how he came with the scenario and what was the whole thing with Puding? Like, how did he came up with the idea?
Pa, ja sam počeo na tome da radim čim sam pao prijemni za režiju drugi put. I kao odmah sam krenuo sa tom nekom idejom kao sestri u invalidskim kolicima i bratu. I onda sad, kako je vreme prolazilo, to se dosta menjalo, dosta promenilo različitih formi, ideja, svačeg nečeg. To je dosta dugo se razvijalo zapravo. I kao ovo što sada vidimo, to je kao samo konačni proizvod. Bilo je tu dosta različitih ideja, mogućnosti, likova, svačeg nečeg. I kao... Tek na samom kraju je kao došlo do nečeg konkretnog tu. Jer kao pre toga dosta svuda tu bilo mana u tim nekim ranijim verzijama i kao onda zajedno smo u suštini došli do nečeg na kraju. Ja sam ga izoblikovao tu pred kraj na tu jednu kao liniju koju su mi i oni pomogli da u potpunosti realizujemo sa strane to likova i kao sa strane tog glumačkog aspekta njih dvoje. Onda smo kao tu zaista radili tako što bi seli, pričali o njima, ko su oni, prilagođavali sve tome. Pokušavali da što više oživimo to, da oni zaista budu što uverdljiviji, što ljudski likovi.
Thank you, Boris. So he said after failing the second part on the application for the Academy of Dramatic Arts Belgrade, so this idea came immediately, and he started to change it, to upgrade it, to see how he can like shoot this film in many different ways and aspects. And the most helpful thing was actually from the actors, that they help him a lot with building up the characters, with finding the solutions, finding the idea and everything. And the results were pretty okay with Boris and everything, and he was really okay with it. So maybe we can go back to the Zaprašići, to the Lovro and Vid. Lovro and Vid, my question is, why biological waste? Because I don't see any connection with biological waste and the carpet and the whole situation there.
Because we thought that you would think there is a person in the carpet. So like to not give up the how do you call that, the theme of the, not the theme, the point of the movie, or the high point of the movie. We named it biological waste, so it would be like mysterious, but not. Lovro.
We actually didn't have any idea how to name the film, and this is like the first, I don't know, someone said that, and like, yeah, we don't actually know.
Thank you, boys.
Because-
So do we have maybe more questions from Spela?
Yes, of course, always. I have,
Thank you, Spela.
yeah, because we are with Vít and Lovro now, so I have another question for you, because your movie also kind of, you know, shows the relationship between children and parents, you know, being afraid of like, you know, mom getting angry because you spilled something. So how do you see this like relationship, or maybe how do you see it with your friends and your family?
We didn't think about it at all, and
But do your
That's
parents
not.
support you, you know, in your hobbies and like in your filmmaking? Have they seen the movie?
mine probably not, but I'm happy with that.
Why?
Because I'll show them my work when it's good. Now it's not showable to anyone.
And you, Laura, what do you think?
I showed the film to my parents. I don't think it's okay movie. It's not the best, but yeah, that parents and children think it's not the main point of the movie, so we didn't really focus on that much. But yeah, I think my mom will definitely be angry if I spilled the juice on carpet.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to this part for sure. But you have like at the workshops that you have mentors, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have mentors.
Mm-hmm. So how do they help you like in the filmmaking? What's their role?
To give us the carpet.
They help us maybe sometimes with idea if we're stuck, and when we film they usually just should maybe suggest some what we should film. They just help us. Main idea is ours and we do most of the things, but they are here to help us if we need anything.
Perfect. And how often do you have them, like these workshops? When was the last one, for example?
Once a week.
Oh, one. Wow. Okay. And then this is how does it look like? It's like few hours, and then they give you feedback, or how? What's your?
We have hour and a half a week, and if we have to film maybe more stuff, we can actually we can maybe book. Možemo se dogovoriti za recimo neki drugi dan, onak par sati i onda snimamo u komadu duži neki vremenski period. Ne znam kako na engleskom.
So what they were booking, can you just repeat it one more time?
Možemo se dogovoriti na, recimo da na neki dan posudimo opremu na nekoliko sati i da to snimimo u komadu onda.
So they can, so Lovro said that they can arrange them, the cameras, the laptops or whatever they need for the filming, and they were arranging that and helping them with. So Spela, do you have maybe some more questions or like that?
Thank you for translating as well. I got this, I have to say, but still, thanks. Yeah, actually, if I can turn to Boris again, because I was interested in if you did any research, you know, on like people with disabilities before making the movie, or how, like, where did you find, you know, the knowledge or inspiration?
Well, I talked with my friend who is disabled. She's not really in a wheelchair, but she has some other form of disability, physical, and I advised with her. I wanted to know how it really feels like, how people perceive you, how you perceive people, how is it to cope with that. She was kind of a little inspiration for me for doing that type of film, because I was interested in that, being like physically disabled but being mentally really joyful, actually, and how I didn't want us to perceive this character in the film that Tamara played just like a disabled person. I wanted to give her like breath of life. I wanted her to be. I wanted to perceive her just as a normal girl, but there is this big problem that we didn't, that none of us really expected. It was that moment, because when she pulls up those wheelchair in the back, and it's the moment we find out that she is actually disabled. I didn't have the means to talk with many other people who may have some disabilities, but I think I found out with my friend what I needed to know. She's also a girl, and she helped me a lot with that script and that research.
So you got some first-hand experience then, I mean, from someone firsthand. And I'm wondering about this neighbor, that appears in the movie, because I have to admit, when I was watching it for the first time, when I saw the neighbor, I kind of thought that the story will go in that direction as well, maybe between the sister and him. So yeah, if you can tell us a bit more about this.
That may look like unfinished subplot, but I wanted to be something to show it, like to give her someone she likes, and someone she wants but can't get, but not just because she is disabled, but also because he's unavailable. But I think that part of the story is just like is used to show us the character of the main actress. No, not main actress, main character in the film, because it gives us a lot of information about her, like she's spying on them. She wants that, and she needs that. She yearns to have something like that, but doesn't have.
Sorry, now I muted myself. And Tamara, like connecting to that, how would you describe your character, like acting in it? Like, how did you feel what he said?
Da. Sam taj lik, sad ako mogu da se vratim, I'm talking about that plot twist with a neighbor, yeah? Imam utisak kao da je, mislim sad kako je i to Boris predstavio, da je više taj komšija prikazivanje toga da ona ima želju da bude deo spoljašnjeg sveta. Problem je jedini što ona samo njega može da vidi i na taj način on je privlači, jer ima utisak da njega može da ima na neki način. Međutim, potpuno je normalan razlog, on već ima devojku, a s druge strane njoj zatvara to sva vrata ka spoljašnjem svijetu, jer je on tu jedini prisutan u njenom malom svijetu u toj sobi i bukvalno samo to što kaže Boris i apsolutno se slažem, samo upotpunjuje njen karakter.
I'm back again. So Tamara said that for the character, it was the only actual accessible boy that she could have, because she's in a wheelchair, and for her the biggest obstacle to see the other part of the world, to see outside of that house, of that home. So for her it was also the crushing moment when she saw that girlfriend and she actually realized she can't have him. Tamara, ispravi me ako negdje griješim, malo je teško ovako prevoditi toga. A ponovi samo zadnju rečenicu, samo da se prisjetim.
Samo da, sad, izvini, sad ja, svaka čast, svakako za prevođenje. Rekla sam da jedan normalan problem koji se dešava svima, da je on jednostavno zauzet, ali s druge strane njoj zatvara to sva vrata ka spoljašnjem svijetu i ka bilo kojim mogućnostima i opet se vraća samo na taj kontakt sa bratom.
And also because of that girlfriend, it's closing like every doors for her to have this like emotional romantic relationship with her neighbor. So again, she's going back to her brother, living not in a romantic or emotional way, but still like the only person she can have like this real connection with.
But now, maybe a controversial point, but don't you think this depicts her as someone who's like dependent and like a victim? Like, this is a question for Boris as director.
Can you repeat the question?
Yep, sure. Don't you think that, you know, kind of showing her as this person only relying on her brother and her brother being her savior in a way, don't you think this depicts her also as a victim in this? This is just discussion point, you know.
Well, I think it's really... Prevedi u stvari za Irina Vakšiću ovako. Pa ne mislim da je ona tu dosta... Da ona zapravo jeste, da dosta zavisi od njega, jer ipak u kolicima je, oni nemaju neka sredstva, ona apsolutno zavisi od njega u svakom smislu. Njoj to smeta, ona pokušava to malo da promeni, uči ono programiranje, da i ona zaradi neki novac, ona hoće da postavi sto, da funkcioniše što više, ona ne želi njega da opterećuje toliko koliko zapravo jeste. Ona jeste na neki način žrtva toga, jer kao definitivno nije birala, ali ona uopšte nema taj stav prema tome da se osjeća kao žrtva, ona pokušava da se nosi s tim i da se izbori sa tim do kraja. Na neki način, ja uopšte nisam želeo da nju posmatramo kao žrtvu. Želeo sam da to kao što više na neki način ostavimo po strani. Da uopšte ne gledamo tako kao ona je invalid, teško joj je i tako, nego više da je na neki način upoznamo i shvatimo kao osobu van toga što je invalid, iako jeste u filmu.
Sorry, guys. I'm back. Sorry. So actually, she's zavisi. Može li neko prevesti? Izvinjavam se. Zavisi.
Dependable.
Yeah, she's actually. Yeah, she actually depends on him, her brother. So. But she's bothered by that. She doesn't like being in a wheelchair, but because of the whole situation and the financial status and everything, she's dependable on him. But she's trying her best actually by putting the table, by putting the makeup and going on this like IT school. She's trying really hard for her best to help her brother as also, but we are not, Boris didn't want to victimize her in this film. She more wanted to present her in this film, like how she's functioning as a person with disability and how she's living her life every day and everything else.
Thank you for explaining your view, but I was wondering, Tamara, what do you think, you know, as a woman in a wheelchair acting this role, how do you see this?
čini mi se da ona, što je rekao Boris, ona stvarno želi da se pokaže da ona učestvuje, da nije potpuno, da kažem, na njegovim leđima. Prevedi sad to, nadam se ćeš moći. I da ona više želi da se pokaže kao sposobna koliko toliko, a s druge strane taj moment kada vidimo da ona čak i u jednom trenutku koristi tu svoju nemogućnost, odnosno kada otkoči točkove od kolice i padne, koristi to kako bi pridobila brata. Tako da je to jedini moment gde ona čak namerno se, da kažem, čini mi se, trudi da bude žrtva samo da bi dobila ono što želi. Iako je tokom celog filma ona se trudila da bude potpuno sposobna za druge stvari. Mislim, za generalno sve stvari u životu.
So Tamara says even she was trying really hard to be participated in every single aspect of their life, like living together, like putting the table and everything, just as Boris said. But only time when she was actually using her disabilities is actually when she tried to get brother's attention by stopping the wheel. I'm not sure how it's that functioning. But yeah, that was the only time. But besides that, she's really trying hard to be the normal part of human being and trying her best to help her brother with everything she tried. That was the only time actually she used her disability to get his attention.
Thank you, Tamara, as well. But Boris, like when making this movie, then the main message, if you need to tell someone who has never seen it before, would you like, what would you highlight? More of this brother-sister love or the person with disabilities and like their world? You know, what would you highlight more?
Well, definitely that brother-sister relationship and mechanics inside that relationship. That was something that was important for me. This disabled part is like, it was a creation inside of something that is personal. And I wanted, I used it to make like this really, nastoji ti da prevodiš, Zarina, izvini sad, baš se engleski otišao, da stvorim neki dosta onako težak svet u kome oni žive, da to bude dosta bude crno na neki način, sve to. A da se oni sa tim dosta drže i da se bore i da jednostavno na neki način imaju neku sreću i koliko god bio taj život težak. To jeste sad malo previše kad pogledamo s jedne strane, malo jeste preterano da sad i poginuli su i roditelji i sad je ona invalid i oni žive sami i teško je. To je možda previše crn moment. Sada verovatno ne bih ga toliko ucrnio, ali kao želeo sam da to bude neki crni, teški svet u kome žive, a da opet bude, da opet u njemu oni pronalaze i neku sreću i neko zadovoljstvo i kao na neki način da ga jednostavno žive, da žive na neki koliko god mogu normalno u tim nekim uslovima.
Translation. So Boris said he actually on purpose make this like really hard and dark world for them, but even if in that dark world and everything, they were happy. They trying their best in their life, and also that they were lucky. Now as a Boris looking nowadays, he maybe wouldn't do so much darkness in this film, or he would change in a little bit more better perspective way. But yeah, he made it that way because he wanted to present that even if in their position they were lucky and they were happy with everything they had. So yeah.
Thank you, Zarina, for translating. And just one more question, Boris, for you. What was the inspiration? You know, is this story based on the events that you know? You mentioned your friend who's living with disability, or was it developed from there, or where did you get the story inspiration?
Well, I used many elements from my personal experience that I knew, that I experienced, that I know. It's really it's not like a single experience or a single moment or a single thing that I heard of or happened, but I used the various elements that I knew about and experienced in my life to put this film together, to create it. I created it from there.
Okay, so inspired by life, you say, like from everywhere. And one more question for Lovro and Vít. You mentioned that you're working on this documentary on 5G. Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about this?
We're basically looking for people on Facebook who are a bit uneducated or wrongly educated and proving them wrong, but in a fun way.
We just wanted to show that a lot of those people who talk about 5G in a bad way, that most of them actually don't know what they are talking about at all. And we just want to say the truth about 5G. So that's why we're making this next movie.
But how do you find those people on Facebook? Just randomly, or do you have any like system?
There are many groups.
Yes, can you say a bit more about this?
Basically, many groups of people who are sharing misinformation.
A lot of misinformation.
But what, I mean, do you then interact with them? Do you like, pick a fight or?
No.
Or...
We come and ask if someone wants to talk, and we already got some replies, so they'll talk.
And we, on the other side, have some people that actually know about 5G. Their job is actually in network departments, so we can have both sides of the story.
Okay, nice. And how long in the project are you? You just started recently, or because this is probably gonna take a while, right? Like the whole research and everything.
Yes, we just started.
A few weeks ago we started looking for people, and we hope to finish it as soon as possible, but we will see.
Yes, great. I wish you a lot of luck on this. And I think it's a very burning topic, especially now in 2020 and everything that's going on. So I think you're on a great path to this cool documentary discovery. Okay, Zarina, do you have any other questions, maybe?
I think these boys are going to put this film on fire for definitely. I don't have any more questions, but I would like to thank all the participants for being the part of today's Q&A. I'm so honored to be the interviewer of this, and I have to apologize to our viewers for my broken English as well, but I really enjoyed this whole situation. I really have to tell this. That's all for me.
Yes. Okay, thank you. You actually you actually said what I wanted to say as well. So thank you for making those movies, and I wish you all like a lot of creativity in your future. And I hope that you will prove that not just family matters, but also film matters. So keep up the good work for sure. And also, this session is being recorded, as I said in the beginning, so you can always find it on our social media channels and watch it or share with your friends or family, because it matters. And also, dear viewers, you can watch their movies on YouTube until the end of the festival as well. Okay, so now actually, so this marks the end of our first Q&A session of tonight's Saturday night program. And we're coming back here, so if you don't have anything to do, especially now in the time of quarantine, I think this is actually the best place to be. So you can head over to our YouTube channel. We just started screening the second portion of our program tonight called Here and There. So the movies are actually taking us on the journey beyond the physical world, so the authors were creating new realities. So definitely something that gets your imagination going. So feel free to watch them and also come back here in an hour. So at 8:30 to discuss them with the authors as well. Okay, So see you in an hour, hopefully. And dear guests, thank you again for coming here and discussing with us. And have a great evening. Ciao, ciao.
Thank
Hope to see you
you.
later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Ciao, bye.